Hey everybody, welcome back to Heartland Productions. It's hard to believe it's December here. It's in the mid 70s and sunny out. It was a great day today. This is night number 2 using my Evander Kiln 2 pizza oven. So I used it a few weeks ago and put out a video, kind of my first test use. And I can already tell there's a few things I like and don't like from just using it one time. So stay to the very end of the video and I'm going to give you a sneak peek into some of those things some of the pros and cons, and you want to stay tuned to see the pizzas that I make tonight. Gonna test out the sauce and topping things. We got the sauce, cheese. Tonight we're gonna do some arugula. We have some jamon serrano and pepperoni. And for my daughter, I have cashew cheese and turkey bacon, or turkey pepperoni. So those are some of the pizzas we're gonna do tonight. Also going to utilize one of these for a cooling rack. Set that there. All right, I got my dough all ready. I'm ready to start making some pizzas. So one of the things that you'll notice tonight, I'm not using the peels that came with this oven. I wasn't the biggest fan of those. I mean, they're all right. If you're just starting off and you don't have any, they're great. But I've used a lot of different peels, and so tonight I prefer my Gozney dome peel. It's been my favorite peel I've used so far. And then for the turning peel, I'm gonna use my Pizza Party long handle one. I didn't like the one that came with it. It has this, it's kind of like the uni turning peel. It has this little raised area right here. He's doing it again. I'm just gonna talk through it. This is like the third time I've had to do this. I like this one. The other one with the raised edge right here, every time I'd go to slide it in, that edge would hit the pizza and slide it back. So I prefer this one. I'll have links to this in my video too. This is the Gozney one. It's a great one for the price. I think it's one of the better ones too. Okay, let's get going. So while I'm getting this first pizza ready, I'll kind of give you some of the things I liked and didn't like from my first use. Still on the fence regarding the whole rotating stone thing. I still don't know if it's quite needed or not. So I'm not saying it's a pro or con yet. Another thing, well, a tip I guess, is that somebody told me too, is that don't rotate it until after I've launched it. So I'll try that tonight. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, to me, I still was able to launch it while it was rotating, but tonight I'll wait and launch the pizza, or hit rotate after I've launched it. And as you can see, I have all my toppings in here. Another thing that I was a little disappointed too is that they don't have lids, which I don't know, everywhere I mean, it's almost impossible, like when you're cooking outside, especially in the summertime, to not have like flies and bugs and stuff. So not having lids is a pretty big deal. So I've already ordered lids on Amazon, and I'll tell you, I'll wait to get those and kind of do a review of those too. And I think I'm probably going to order ones that are a little bit deeper. There's a shelf under there, so I can't go too much deeper, but I think I'm going to get one size deeper than these, about double this, to be able to put more toppings in. So we'll see how those go. And as far as the pizza, the oven heating up, I mean, it heats up extremely fast. 15-20 minutes, you're way at over temperature. You're at 750, 850 degrees plus. So having that second burner really does help. I'm not going to talk about how I'm making the pizza, because this video is going to be more about the oven than me making pizza, but I'm going to make just a regular pepperoni and fresh mozzarella for my son. Funny, I thought making pizzas at night would be much quieter. There's so much noise out there tonight. I'm a little nervous with these topping trays like this. My concern with this is, as opposed to having a separate one, is that I'm afraid if sauce or something spills, and it's going to go down inside the table. So I'm kind of on the fence with these two. It's like the idea, it looks great, but I almost prefer having a separate topping thing, kind of maybe like the uni one, or just having my Rubbermaid containers. That way I can move them around. If I need more space, I can move them. These, once they're here, like the holes are here, so once you take these out, you really can't do much about it. And then flour gets down in there, so I'm not quite sure if I like this or not. All right, stop talking and get some sauce on there. The oven's getting hot, I can feel it. I like the size of this oven. It's a very good oven. You can make big pizzas, but it has a very small footprint. So that's definitely another pro of this oven, is that most of the other ovens that to do a 16-inch pizza, they're pretty large ovens. So this is and it's light enough where if I need to pick it up and put it in the garage, or if you live somewhere where it's super cold and you want to store it for the winter, this is definitely an oven you can store relatively easy. And you can take the stones out too, which makes it even lighter. From a pizza cooking perspective, again, I need to use it a little more to get 100% sure of which one I like better. All right, let's get this thing in the oven. I'm launching this one without the turning piece. Now I'm gonna hit the switch. Boom. We'll see how long this one takes to cook. I did turn the heat down just a smidge to make sure the bottom gets nice and, oh yeah, the bottom's cooking good. See, this is the one thing I'm not a big fan of, the turning. It makes it more difficult for me I like to be able to put the turning peel in and check the bottom. But in theory, the bottom should cook more evenly. It's looking great. Yeah, I guess you can do it pretty easy like that. Once again, I'm using my frozen dough. I let it thaw a little more. This pizza is looking absolutely amazing. Smells so good. Bottom's cooking great. Just a few more seconds and this one will be done. Almost done. Still getting used to it. Normally I don't like to take the pizzas out, but I'm getting used to this one still. Oh, there we go. Look at that one. Pizza looks great. Let's put it on the cooling rack. Give me a little extra space there. We get the next one ready while that's cooling off just a smidge. I like, again, if you saw my last video, the cooling rack's really important when you take the pizza out. If you put it right on a plate or the cutting board, the heat makes kind of adds steam to the bottom and kind of makes it even soggier. So if put on the cooling rack for just a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds to a minute, let some of the heat dissipate a little bit. You don't want it to get cold, then you go in and serve it. I'll stop talking. Let's get another pizza ready. All right, this pizza, my daughter is a vegetarian and is not eating dairy right now, so I'm gonna make a dairy-free and turkey pepperoni pizza. Just really quickly, I wanted to show you the bottom. You see that? Perfectly cooked, the pepperoni pizza. Nice crust all the way around the bottom. Look at that. What a great looking pizza. Give that one to my son. He's gonna have to wait a second though. This is a extra, kind of the end dough ball, my last batch of dough. So this one's only around 220 grams, so very small, but this one will be for my daughter. Probably be about an 8-inch pizza, give or take. So this table, I have another bigger table. So if I'm making like 6 or 7 pizzas at a time, well, usually I do about 6 at a time at the most. I prefer the other table because I have a lot more space, but if you're just making pizza for the family, this is a very nice table. I love the mobility of it. It's very easy to roll. I had this on the side, so I just rolled it out here before I started making pizza. Extremely easy to move around. The oven cooks great. It's very well insulated. Look, it's a, wait, make it all dirty now. It's almost pushing 1,000 degrees. Very nice. If you haven't heard me in the last video, absolutely love the orange color. It's the terracotta is the color. Alright, gotta make sure I use the right ingredients for this one. It has the cashew cheese. If you ever used cashew cheese, it doesn't really melt or have flavor. Other than that, it's great. This is turkey pepperoni. Then I'll put some arugula on this one when I'm done. Let's get this one launched also. Nice little pizza. So this is, again, I think it was around 220 grams, give or take. So it still makes about an 8 to 10 inch, well, almost a 10-inch pizza probably. Let's get this one in the oven also. Here we go. Burner's on high again. Yeah, forgot to turn the rotating stone off. That's one less thing to worry about. Like I'm saying, once you, if you've been doing it a long time, I wouldn't worry about it. It's just as easy to launch it with a stone. I think if you're just starting out, I would turn it off. But for me, I've done it enough times where it doesn't make a difference. Looking great. This is fun. If you haven't made pizzas before, I definitely recommend it. I think this oven is a great oven. I still say this is kind of the next step up. It's not a beginner's oven, but this, well, it could be a beginner's oven if you want to spend that money. But for the price point, this is a great oven to start. Or if you're, look at that, perfect. Look at that. Can't tell if you can see. There's the bottom. Look at that. Looks great. Let's get some arugula on this one. Get this one in there for my daughter. Last but not least, just a little balsamic vinegar reduction. There we go. Looks great. Funny, when I started this video, I was actually going to talk about, I had a list, quite a list of cons I thought I had from the first use, but after making those first 2 pizzas, a lot of the things I thought I didn't like are kind of growing on me. Like the turning stone, having the rotating pizza stone, the first time I used it, it was just okay. I thought there were kind of more negatives about it than positives, but it's actually kind of growing on me. It makes it a lot easier. The pizza was very uniformed. You don't have to turn it, which is kind of a huge time saver. So if you're kind of a casual pizza maker or just starting out, this might end up being the perfect oven for you because it makes it very easy. It cooks perfectly all around with minimal effort. You just have to launch the pizza into the stone. I don't find that you have to turn this off at all. I mean, if you're just starting off, it's probably easier to turn the rotation off, launch the pizza, then do it. But for me, no issues at all. Both pizzas turned out perfectly round. Great. The topping stations, they're very convenient too. I think once I have the lids, and like I said, I'm going to order probably a little deeper ones too. I'll test these out too, but I get the lids in, I think next week I'll try those out too. That'll be the main thing, because as of right now, I mean, we're in December right now, so there's no flies, but in the summertime, it'll be impossible to use that without some kind of lid or top on it. All right, I better get my wife's pizza ready right now. She wants it's going to be a San Marzano sauce, so a red sauce, and then I'm going to put arugula, well, I'm going to put Serrano ham on it and some arugula and then a truffle burrata on top of it with a little balsamic vinaigrette. It's going to be great. Stay tuned. This is my last pizza for the evening. Just did 3. This was a batch of dough I made last week. I froze it. If you haven't seen my how to freeze Neapolitan dough video, check it out. It's on my channel. I'll try to put a link in the description of this video also. It's great to be able to just pop the dough out of the freezer the night before and then have pizza ready to go. You don't have to wait the 3 days. This is a biga dough, so it takes about 3 days to make the pre-fermented dough, the starter. If you want to learn how to that too, I'll put a link for that video somewhere in there too. Okay. This one has to be good or my wife will get mad at me. The trick when you use the frozen dough is you have to let it thaw overnight and then let it sit out at room temperature at least 3 hours. That way, this dough, you could not even tell that this wasn't made fresh. It's so light and fluffy. It's a great dough. Do yourself the favor, learn how to make a really good pizza dough. The difference between a biga, I mean, it does take a little more time, but it's not hard to make. But the dough tastes so much better. It's so much lighter. It's so much more digestible. It's not like you're eating a giant loaf of bread. You can eat this whole pizza yourself and you don't even really feel full. So much better and so much, it's worth every minute it takes. Okay, I'm gonna slide the excess semolina out of the way. You don't want it on the stone, it'll burn. Do a final stretch. Get it to about the 12 inches. There we go. Do the sauce. I already forgot what I was making. I'm just going to put fresh mozzarella down. I'm not going to do pecorino on this one because I'm going to put fresh Parmesan shavings on top. I'm just going to put a little cheese because I'm going to put the burrata in the middle. You will see. A little drizzle of olive oil. You can see these are just the big flakes of Parmesan. And here's the truffle burrata. Smells so good. Okay, let's get this in the oven. Before I launch, after a few pizzas, I always use the front edge of my pizza peel to kind of scrape the stone, just to get any of the semolina off the bottom. You want to use your towel and kind of clean it off. Be very careful, it's going to be extremely hot when you take it out of the oven. Okay, a little semolina on the front just to make sure. Final stretch, make it fit the peel. Look at that, great looking pizza. If you haven't tried, I highly recommend making pizza. It's a lot of fun. See how easy that was? We left it rotating, no issues at all. Turn it back up. I had turned it down while I was making the other pizza. Got to crank the heat up. See the flame. I say my one thing, it is a little hard to check the bottom, but you just have to slide the peel under farther because your peel starts turning too. So you have to kind of go like this, put it under the whole thing, kind of check like that. See how it's, oh, I didn't put it back in the center. That's what happens when you're making videos. Oh, look at that, looks great. Somebody asked me the other day if I've ever burnt my watch making pizza because it's so hot. I would say there's a more chance of damaging my phone because my phone's about 6 inches from the flame right now. It's probably going to shut off because it's so hot. Look at that. That is a great looking pizza. So we got the pizza. I got the cooling rack pulled out now. Let's put it on the cooling rack. I'll show you what the bottom looks like. Look at this. Absolutely cooked to perfection. Perfect Neapolitan pizza. The good benefit of using the biga dough, look how much air. And again, this was the frozen one. So you can't tell, indistinguishable from the fresh one. And this is frozen. Of course, I made the dough and froze it myself. Going to be Oh, it's super crispy, fluffy in the middle. Great looking pizza. Oh, we can do the Serrano ham first. Put a little Serrano ham, and I'll put a little more on the top, I think, too. Do some arugula. There we go. Parmesan shavings around it. I'm going to drizzle the balsamic reduction. Look at that. Looks delicious. Let's go inside and eat this thing. There we go. That's the truffle burrata. I'll spread that out over so we get it on every slice. Oh, it smells delicious. I wish you could smell the truffle. If you don't like truffle, I feel sorry for you. Oh, it's gonna be nice and airy, I already know. Look at that. See the nice gluten development? It's very nice. Pretty amazing pizza night. I was kind of just going to make some quick pizzas just to make a video, and those actually turned out to be some of the better pizzas I've made for a while. And again, that was using my dough that I had previously made and froze. So the dough turned out perfectly. The pizza oven performed amazing. I had, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, I had a list of things that I was going to kind of list as cons, but tonight I kind of had to rethink the whole thing. It's like this pizza oven actually performed much better tonight. I think having a little more experience with it, I had kind of learned how to deal with it a little better. So I'm having a tough time finding things that I don't really like about this. I mentioned too about the table and not having a lot of space. If you're in a spot where you can't have a pizza on a stand and a table by itself, like you need just kind of a one-stop shop, I think this is a phenomenal option. Sure, when you have the pizza oven on the table, you're obviously losing some space, but you can still easily make 2 pizzas at a time. You have the topping station here, so I was going to critique it more, but it really is a pretty decent, well, it's not decent. I think it's great. It's a great oven for the price point. I think right now it's still on sale for Christmas. I think it's right under $800 for the oven, which at that price point, it's gonna be hard to beat an oven like this. And I think having all these shelves too, I mean, tons of space. I haven't even started using all the other shelves and cabinets. I do wish I could put my mini fridge in here. That's the only thing I wish I could do, but now I'm just finding excuses, things to complain about. Again, I was on the fence about the rotating pizza stone, but it's kind of growing on me. I think I'm kind of a purist when it comes to making pizzas, so I kind of like turning the pizzas. It's kind of part of the fun. So from that aspect, I prefer, I think, a non-turning, a standard oven. But if you're going to be a casual pizza maker, or you're just going to be wanting to entertain and you don't want to have to be constantly staring and turning the pizza, this is a great option. The pizzas were cooked to perfection. The bottom with the dual burner, the bottom burner to heat up the stone, cooked the bottom perfectly. The top got a nice crust on it too. So yeah, I'm at a loss of words. There's not anything bad I can say about this. It's everything for this price point. I think this is a great oven. I will do some kind of comparing and contrasting with some of my other ovens in my next video. I'll kind of give you a walkthrough and kind of show you all the current ovens I have right now and kind of what I like and don't like about each one of them, or something like that, but I'm not sure what I'll do. Thanks again for watching. I'm going to stop talking now. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, do all that stuff too. It really helps the channel, helps me grow, helps me be able to make more videos like this. You guys have a good night.